All right, welcome. We are here at FTGP 9, the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. I am joined by my co-commentator Lugi. Lugi, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm very good. I obviously it's 4 a.m. in the morning for me, so I'm not the best energized as I would feel like I would be, but I'm ready to come and go for my first ever commentary in the LRC channel.
Yeah, so
So yeah,
you're really treating this like a real 24-hour race. You're like up late and everything.
yeah. I mean, if I could, I wish I could do like a 3-hour night stint now, as like how these guys are driving their TSO 30s around the track right now as we speak. But sometimes you gotta watch how these guys perform. Maybe you can learn a few things from them with how quick they might be sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, so for those who are tuning in for the first time, we are LRC. We stand for Learners Racing Collective. We're a group on Discord with, I don't know, about 200 or so drivers, and we do a lot of events that are mainly catered around learning and improving. So FTGP is one of those events. It's a monthly endurance race that we do, and it's typically like our biggest event outside of the league. But the format is a little bit different than what you see in GT7. It's multi-class. So our first qualifying session will determine which drivers join the first class and which join the lower class. And then the second qualifying session determines their position on the grid. And then we'll have the multi-class endurance race kick off in about 30 minutes from now, 45 minutes from now.
Yeah. So right now we're watching Q1 with the TSO 30s right now as we speak. Right now they're all starting on their outlap here. None of them. They're all approaching around, I believe, if I get my track guy in here, they all should be arriving at Metzigesville, if I can pronounce the German pronunciation correctly. And as we speak again, on their outlap, preparing themselves, they should be getting around maybe one, maybe 2 laps, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see how the drivers stack up in the first qualifying and who will go to Q2. As you know, we got a lot of drivers who are pretty quick today. You know, we're looking like we look like we see maybe Toasty or people like Toasty, maybe people like Dutra are very very quick drivers, especially around the track. So I think they would really put up a fight to the challenge up on the front of the grid.
Yeah.
And maybe we have some underdogs in this battle as well. We maybe have the Canadian driver Motsky who's just making his way on the track right now. Maybe we could see a great performance from Dino Motsky. Bishop probably could maybe string up a fight together and get into Q2. So it's a very, very equal balance field with these equal cars as well. Because everybody's in the same car. They're all trying to manage their laps as well. So in the out laps, so they don't drain their batteries. So it's all up to see. It's all up to the drivers now to see what they can do. Because the Nordschleife is also a very tricky track, and if they even mess up maybe once or twice, it might be the end for them. So yeah, stay tuned, guys, because this is going to be a very exciting Q1.
Yeah, you touched on a lot of points there. So one of them being the outlap being extremely long, and because qualifying is, and I think qualifying is set to be 20 minutes, they'll get about, what, 2 laps at most? 3 if they're lucky. And this is a situation where there's very little room for error both on track and for qualifying. So if you only get 2 laps, and you mess up on one of them, right? You only have one lap left to really get down your good time. So it's kind of like a race of attrition. It's you want to minimize your mistakes, be conservative, and I think that's going to be a better approach to this race than going all out. But again, we will see when the time comes. So Toasty right now, I think, or no, actually, excuse me, Anthony Colazzo is making his way around. Let's see here, into Schwabenschwanz up into the mini carousel. So he'll be completing his lap in about a minute or so. Lugi, what are your favorite parts, and what do you think are actually the most challenging parts of the Nürburgring circuit?
I think about the Nürburgring circuit and the Nordschleife in general. The fast, high-speed part of the track where if you hit the limit, if you go over the limit, even if you're an experienced driver, and if you go over the limit, you may end up spinning, costing yourselves multiple seconds per lap. Those tricky high-speed sections, they can be something like Outplatz, or at corners like Outplatz, where the high-speed right-hander double flowing, and it's not really a flat out. You're not even sure if you can go flat out.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're brave enough to do it, maybe you can.
Yep.
And I think that's what makes the circuit really special. As we see, I believe that is, Anthony Colazzo starting his flying lap now, as he comes to the GP circuit now, and we should see how his lap goes, as he's getting a bit squirrely out of the exit of turn 2. But yeah, let's see how he navigates through the GP circuit.
Yeah, Anthony Colazzo, no stranger to LRC, is here today to challenge Toasty for the title for the FTGP. So Toasty being the running champion of FTGP this whole year, aside from one race. So a lot of people will be gunning for the title today to take it away from Toasty. So Anthony Colazzo being one of them, Ace, Willie, Ali Bali as well. Pretty much Dutra especially. So all the top runners will be looking to really fight for that first position today. So
Yeah,
running on. Go ahead.
No, I thought you were finishing, but yeah, I think what you said about Dutra, especially, I think they're a very, very talented driver. 2 days ago, I was racing them against them in the Miata touring cars. This in an LRC sanctioned race, which you can find. I believe you can join our Discord server, and you may find more races to go and to compete on your own, and maybe you can join races like these as well if you're a member of the Discord server, and you can join more races like the FTGP. But I think something about Dutra is that there are very she or he, I think, is a very, very special driver. I think there's a lot of potential that Dutra has, especially in cars where, not like a if like in cars where it's not that easy to adapt. Dutra can probably adapt to them as quickly as possible, and that's something special about Dutra, where they can get the lap on. So yeah. The same also thing can also be said about Toasty, where on consistency, Toasty, on pure pace, maybe Toasty might be a bit slower, maybe might be a bit quicker, but on pure consistency, we know he's the driver that can absolutely stay consistent as much as he wants to, and he knows how to keep it on track. So that's something that, and many of these other drivers which have their own talent in them, and again, like, they're all learning here, and that's the whole point of it.
Yep, certainly Toasty is the driver to beat as he makes his way through Field 2 into Collinhard. It's tough to say where the drivers are currently positioned right now within their sectors because there's no sector comparisons during qualifying or even during the race, which is unfortunate. But that'd be cool if we had maybe had that telemetry. But as you can see, Toasty's rear tires are already pretty shot. They're like down to 50%-ish in the rear, and he's about halfway through the lap. So the tricky part about this whole situation is that the second lap is gonna be pretty much shot, because if they're coming through the first lap with their tire worn all the way through, they're gonna have to pit to change tires. But if they do that, they'll also lose a crazy amount of time. So it's pretty much like a one-shot lap here for the Q1 session.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Thunder Mouse has just spun or had an incident. They're stuck in, I believe, the Hoshishin, if I pronounce the German pronunciation correctly. They're stuck in that part of the track as they had a spin. No damage, but they did suffer a huge blow. So that's definitely their lap over there. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Yeah, it looks like Flying Disc as well had an incident and now is carrying damage on the rear, the front, and the front right wheel.
Yeah,
there he goes off track again. Looks like he can't even keep it on track because there's so much damage. It's really affecting the steering of the car.
Yeah, I think he might just need to make it to the pit lane there. Not good at all for him. Yeah, he goes off again off the track he's reset to pit lane. Yeah, I think that's it for his lap.
Yeah, and it's certainly a smart idea to hit the pit lane. That might actually give him, I don't know about now. So it's a 20-minute qualifying session. The outlap takes about like 8 minutes. It looks like it takes about 7 minutes, 37 seconds. So there's a chance he could get an outlap, but once qualifying ends, you only really have 3 minutes maximum to complete the lap after qualifying ends. So really, the racers are only going to get one lap here for qualifying. I know earlier I said 2, but it looks like in reality there's only one lap for qualifying.
I would like to answer a question from the chat, if that's possible.
Yeah, go for it.
The 133, as you said, would I be able to join Q2? Unfortunately, you cannot join Q2 because, well, you'd need to be in Q1 to qualify on the first few drivers for Q2. So unfortunately, I don't think you can. Means you probably have to sit that out. But
yeah, we have a full lobby as well. So even if we had people wanting to join, it's a full event. But there's certainly room. We have these every month, and then we have events practically every day of the week. So if you're interested in racing with us, let me actually put a link to join our Discord in chat. But yeah, go ahead, Luigi.
All right. Toasty has just set the fastest lap of the time machines right now. 7:10.5, 8 seconds quicker than the second place. What a stonking lap that is. Nobody coming close. Ace has just set a 7 minutes 19 seconds .5. Yeah, I mean, Toasty looks absolutely untouchable right now. As this is Ollie Bolly, who's coming down the main straight in Dottingenher. But he's just gone past that, and he's approaching the final few corners now. You might see him almost completing his lap, nowhere near the timing sheets of Toasty or anybody else time because he had damage on his lap. That's a 7 minutes 43.1 for Oli Volley.
Yep.
And
So on board with
oh,
Willie
Dudes
right
have gone
now.
off.
Oh, Dutra's
Yeah,
gone off.
Dudes
Oh
has
no.
gone off. Oh,
Oh
that's a
no.
shame because
I
he's
missed
got
that.
damage as well. He
Well,
goes second quickest, but yeah, he messed
yeah,
up his lap there.
despite that, he got second, so that's not too bad. That's not too bad run for Dutra. Looks like he was
Yeah.
about 5 seconds off the pace of Toasty. And then Willie crosses the line in 6th, and looks like Stoles crosses the line
Goals.
and takes that 5th position from Willie.
Yep. We should be seeing. Oh, what's happened to Dino? He has front damage, and I don't think he's definitely messed up his lap there. Won't be getting anywhere near the timing sheets. Dino. Ads has just set 7 minutes 43 seconds. Motsky has set a 7 minutes 41. Oh my god, have I just seen that? Dino has taken the wrong part of the
Oh
track.
no.
Dino has just taken. Oh my
Oh
god.
no. The amount of times I've done that though, because I've forgotten that I'm on the 24-hour layout and not on the Nordschleife layout, is way
Yeah.
too many. Ugh.
I keep doing that with the GP layout and the endurance layout and the sprint layout actually. So I'm not even surprised actually. That's a poor mistake, sadly. Poor Dino. Bishop has just done a 7 minutes 45 to finish his time. I think we should be waiting on one more car and that's it. And that's Thunder Moose.
Yeah,
Who's got damage on his lap as
he's
well.
got so much damage on that
Yeah.
front. You could see like he's trying to keep that front under control at top speed. It's just ever so slightly twitching back and forth.
Yeah. Roach has just said in the chat, is it safe to blame the fact that he had ran Nordschleife a lot yesterday? Oh, sorry to cut you off there, but yeah, he's just gone off as well. So yeah, definitely not a good lap by him. But back to Roach. I guess so. There's a lot of people making mistakes here. I assume it's not. Well, I don't know if I can blame the drivers because this is a really tricky track and I could imagine myself being in the driver's position as well, that you'd have incidents where you'd crash 1, 2, maybe 3 times in this track. So it's obviously really hard for the drivers, even if there's a Nordschleife layout or a GP layout. So yeah, nothing we can really do.
So once again, Toasty is the driver to beat. And we're just finishing up here qualifying Q1, and we'll get Q2 started to determine determine the racing positions for both classes.
Yeah, I think how many drivers go through into Q2, I believe.
So the whole field will go through qualifying, but they'll qualify using their respective cars. So it looks like I think the top 6 will be in the GR1 class, and then the bottom 7 will be in the GR3 class. So then we'll do a qualifying session with both on track. And then again, this will determine the starting order for the cars in both classes. So again, Q1 will determine which class the driver will participate in. Q2 will determine their grid positions for the start of the race. And then we'll get underway with our race just after Q2. So
Yeah, guess that's it then. We should be waiting for Q2 to begin soon, I hope. So yeah, hard to hear at all. People in in the chat saying
Yeah,
3
let's
to
boost your
4, so
volume up. Let me see if I can fix
yeah.
that over here.
Is this okay now? Yeah. Don't know if you can hear me now, so
That's better.
I have to check these. Yeah, I'll try like this now. Just, yeah.
Dutra said you crashed and got damaged somehow. Still got second. Yeah, it's again
Yeah.
like we were talking about this earlier. Like this is gonna be one of those races where it's gonna be a race of attrition, and the person who makes the least amount of mistakes during the race is gonna be the person to really come out on top. Like damage on this track will lose you anywhere between, I imagine, 3 to 10 seconds. Like if you lose your top speed by several kilometers down the Dottinger Strait, you're gonna lose, yeah, just like 3 seconds alone from the straight alone. So damage is gonna be a huge handicap if you receive damage. So I think whoever again is going to be the most consistent, the most conservative will come out on top. And I think Toasty, from my experience, has been the person who's been most conservative and consistent throughout all the FTGP races that I've seen. So Toasty is certainly the favorite here, but you know, there's a lot of surprises that happen in our races. You know, you never know what's gonna happen. There could be, you know, late race safety cars or something. So anything can happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't place a bet. I wouldn't. No, I would not place a bet. I don't know how. I don't know what I'm saying, but everybody I think on the grid has a chance of winning. Everybody from last, well, obviously from each of their own respective classes, that is, have a chance at winning because you never know who might make a mistake in this race. It's especially with the Nürburgring, which is the most unpredictable circuit ever. And I know that from experience because you can race against some absolute aliens in this damn track, and then you would still make up 5-6 seconds because they made a mistake in one part of the track. So yeah, a lot to gain, a lot to know. You just have to stay consistent. You just need to be consistent, and you just need to keep it on track. And I think that's what these drivers need going into the race.
Yeah, speaking of unpredictable, we also have the weather settings set to random. So a couple things actually. So the time multiplier is 16. So that means whenever the drivers are racing their 13 laps around the Nürburgring, we're gonna see a full 24 hours throughout the track elapse, and then during this quote unquote 24 hours, we're gonna get random weather throughout the entire event. So there is a high likely of rain during this event. And like as you were saying earlier, Lugi, that as soon as I mean, even just dry, the track is pretty difficult to drive on, let alone pass. But as soon as it starts raining, it's gonna be absolute chaos.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think the worst scenarios these drivers do not want at all is just for it to start raining mid lap, and that's for
Mm.
them to just like be in the middle of the circuit, maybe like a corner like Whipperman, and then it starts raining a whole hurricane, and now they don't have grip anymore. So that would be the worst case scenario for these drivers. And although I think that would be very entertaining for the viewers, it would not be very entertaining for the drivers to keep it on the track. So again, the weather can be unpredictable, the drivers can be unpredictable, maybe even the strategies can be unpredictable if somebody manages to get the fuel wrong by like 1 liter or something, if that's possible. And like we saw day before yesterday, where I think in the GT4 race, I think somebody underfueled and managed to do second place. So yeah, a lot. Stein was just pinging me on the chat. Need the spot.
Okay,
Uh,
that's fine.
yeah,
We will switch over to share play. So we'll get that set up in just a minute.
yeah.
We'll get that set up and then we'll be right back. So hang on tight.
Oh, I don't have time, do I? Okay.
All right, we're back and now we got a few people joining in. So Ali Bali is back into the lobby and we will have, it looks like 32 Nasty joining us as well for the race. So at the moment, we have Toasty, Dutra, Anthony Colazzo, Ace, Stolz, Willie, and Motsky in the GR1, the Toyota TS 050. And it looks like we got Ads, Lamb King, Bishop, Dinosaur, Flying Disc, Thundermouse, Ali Bali, and then I think we're waiting on 32 Nasty to join to fill out the final GR Supra racing concept slot. So fully lobby here,
Yeah,
it's going to be pretty intense when we first start seeing that, like once we start qualifying. Well, actually, whenever we qualify, the passing cars won't be an issue, but during the race, passing in general is really tough on the Nordschleife. And seeing that this is a multi-class race, there are going to be really important parts of the race where the GR1 cars will have to go around the GR3 cars during the race. So again, like that adds to the consistency and the preciseness that the GR1 drivers have to compete and not crash into the lower class cars and make sure that they don't ruin their race.
Yeah. Something about the field in the GR3 class here is gonna be very, 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 very packed. As we can see, all the drivers. Well, obviously, we didn't get the best qualifying in terms of lap time because most people did have very, very scruffy laps because obviously some people had damage and some people didn't just manage to get a few places wrong. But of course, it's just learning around the track like always. But now with the GR3 cars, it should feel like a closer field altogether. Many people have driven this car. Many people know how it feels like. They're used to knowing how cars drive and handle more than they know how to tune it much, much, much more precise than the TSO30s. So again, the field of, I believe, with the other few drivers that are in the GR3 class now, adds Lamb King, Bishop, Dinosaur, Flying Disc. I believe also we've got added as well. I think it is, what did it go? I think it is also Nasty that's also joined for the Super race. So again, this is gonna be very, very tight. Both the races in the LMH and the TSO30 class and the GR Supra class are gonna be really, really fun to watch. So for Q2 is definitely a must watch, I must say, to see how their laps will go. So yeah, let's see how this goes, as we should be in order to go in qualifying in 3 minutes now.
Yes, I think we're just waiting on the go ahead from Nasty. It'll be interesting to see the 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 tire wear and the fuel strategies for the race. Seeing that there's no clear. Well, I guess I should have researched this beforehand, but it looks like um, it might be like a 2 or 3 stopper, maybe more, judging based off of the tire wear that the cars are seeing from the qualifying laps. The softs certainly won't be a viable option since they only really last one lap. So we're gonna go jump into qualifying since everyone's ready.
Yeah.
So we're on board with Toasty right now as he leaves the pit lane, goes down to the Dunlop, or it looks like the Ford curves into the Dunlop curve on the outlap. So again, Toasty will be the person to beat. Anthony Colazzo and Dutra will all have a shot at it. But Toasty looking pretty solid. I don't know if like anyone's going to be able to top him. He got the first position, I think it was 5 seconds ahead of second place, which was Dutra. But Dutra also had some damage, so maybe Dutra might actually have a shot at getting pole position for Q2. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny seeing like the qualifying session, since like they have to do an owl lap, and it's just like 7 minutes of just one entire owl lap before they can actually start qualifying.
Yeah, it's like you gotta. It's not. You have to drive as quickly as you can to start the line because obviously the problem with the notch line is once you finish the countdown for qualifying, another countdown begins to finish your laps, and the countdown is only 3 minutes, which is a
Yeah.
huge problem because then you'd probably need at least 4 minutes or 5 minutes or 6 minutes, depending on which class you are or what your pace is, to just start the lap again. So that's one of the biggest problems in the Nordschleife, and that's also one of the biggest problems and one of the most frustrating any driver can encounter because in GT7, if you even if you're in a quick lap when you have like multiple purple sectors in this track, immediately you see like you don't have enough time to finish the lap. It's a really
Yeah.
frustrating thing. But yeah,
Yeah, it's like almost as if they didn't like take into account the Nordschleife being like a track that anyone's really gonna qualify on, or run like these kinds of events. But I mean, I
yeah,
guess, I guess, I guess you could do like a full-on, 30-minute qualifying session, but for the purposes of FTGP, that would just be way, way, way too long. I mean, our event for FTGP in general, as long as it is, so adding like, an hour and a half for just qualifying and setup before the hour and a half long race would just be kind of impractical.
yeah. If you recall, like, I
So
think,
Toasty and Ace making their way down to Colin Hard, it looks like. Ace nice neatly tucked behind Toasty. It looks like maybe he's gonna try to use Toasty as a draft, maybe, to potentially keep pace with him for his one qualifying lap. Anthony Colazzo also joins the pack, so I don't know if they're going to plan on running their qualifying lap together, but it'll be interesting to see.
I think it's just gonna be a case of helping each other through their laps because the battery on these cars run out really, really quickly. So, and on the long straight, if you can manage to be behind a guy who's slower than you, and then you back off a whole lot before the lap, and then you manage to catch up to the guy right before the straight, you're gonna get a huge advantage on the on the main straight there, on the Nordschleife straight, which can just gain you like at least a second in the slipstream you guys can get, and maybe you can even bump draft and help each other. So I think um with what these guys are planning, obviously they'll have dirty air, but it will be worth it knowing they might gain an extra second of lap time being together than being far away. So I think that's the strategy maybe Toasty and Ace are going for here. And as Billy and mostly everybody in the class are bunching up, except Stoles, who's just a bit behind. Yeah.
And Dutra as well. Dutra is further back with Motsky close behind, um, bringing up the rear of the GR1 class. And further down, we have Thundermouse leading the GR3 pack. He's not actually too far behind from the GR1 class, but there are a few other cars that are still making their outlap. And let's see who's way back there. Someone's way back there. See if I can find them. So Nasty, yeah, is just coming up
Yeah, it's nice.
through the Flugplatz. Essentially about a quarter of a way through. But it looks like he'll still have enough time to finish his lap, as long as there's no any issues with his outlap. So I think he'll have plenty of time as long as he doesn't damage his car or crash or anything.
Yeah, speaking of damage or crash, I don't know if you saw, but I believe that was one of the one of the guys who were ahead of the whole Group D class. He had damage in his car, and I think that's Ollie also who has damage on the rear of his Supra there. So no idea what's happened to those guys. Maybe a collision with Ollie and we'll see he and Ollie had a collision, maybe a bit of bump here and there, and then I think they just hit the walls.
Yeah.
But who knows? As yeah, it's not going to be beneficial for both of them. That's for sure. Maybe there might be a chance for him to pit, but I guess he's just going along with it, which is I doesn't make sense to me. But you know, I think he might have something planned up here. Maybe he might go for a secret tactic that gives him extra speed, like gives him pole
A
position or
secret,
something. I'm
yeah,
not sure.
secret timing strategy. uh,
Yeah, more damage means more lap time. Yeah.
so Lamb King making his way around the carousel. Lamb King, a longtime member of LRC, he's been here essentially since from the start. Got the nice bluey livery there. We're always entertained by Lamb King's liveries. So shout out to Lamb King.
I think Miss Bishop we're watching here. Well placed, as I think he's shortly following Dinosaur, which, as we can see further up there, that is Dinosaur. He has pink GR Supra, and we watch Bishop going around, and here's Dinosaur. Yes, um, I think he's also having damage. What is it with these guys and damage? But um, I think yeah. But let's see how Dinosaur does well with it. I'm surprised he didn't reset, but I guess he's going along with it. I'm a bit confused, but I think what he has planned, maybe he thinks he can keep it with these guys with the front damage. He has front damage, so I'm excited to see what Dinosaur can produce right now. Um, and I really hope he can do something really. Same goes with Bishop, who does not have damage, was following right behind. As maybe that's what Dino is thinking. Maybe he thinks he's quicker than Bishop, but let's see until he gets to the line.
Yep.
Let's see what they fire. Yep.
So Flying Disc making goes a little bit off track there, runs into the wall but doesn't pick up any damage there.
Ooh.
Completing his outlap, thankfully, not taking any damage.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'd have to go and pit and fix it on his one. Maybe if he were to. At this point now, we're starting to enter the point of no return. So if you take damage and you go back into the pits to restart, you're going to need about 14 minutes to complete. Actually, 14 for the GR1 class, 16 minutes to complete an out lap and a qualifying lap. So at this point, if any of the GR3 cars get damaged and try to reset, they won't be able to finish a lap, seeing that there's only 3 minutes of buffer time after the qualifying event is done. So it's now or never.
As the pressure rises up, we see the GR Supra cars. We haven't seen the LMH cars for a long time, actually. Just been panning the camera to GR Supra cars, but they are going across the last. Yes, here is Toasty, who's approaching, I believe. That is the Auden forced corner. Sorry, that's the negative speed corner, and just absolutely flying through there. Look at that! Absolutely flat out through that section. And let's see through here, lifting off only a little body bit on his ton of brakes. That is absolutely amazing. And just like you said, Toasty is one of those drivers that can absolutely, he knows where the limit is. He can keep it consistent, and we can see that as that's actually really, really good driving.
Yeah, you could see how neat and tidy he was through Versiphon, which is a very tricky corner to get because the braking zone is there's a little bit of turning involved in the braking zone. So everything is just nip and tuck with Toasty as he makes his way around, I believe is now Bergberg, and down the Kesselchen Strait. Once again, Toasty being the person to beat. We'll jump on board with Ace, who's just a couple seconds further back. Looks like his lap is pretty good as well. There's no damage. Quite a bit of wear on his rear tires, but
Yeah,
nothing detrimental to his car at the moment.
I'm thinking about all of this, thinking about their lives, but I wonder how B Dutra is doing. He was one of the guys who got pretty close to Toasty last qualifying, as you can see, running that all black TSO 30.
It looks like
He's actually
Dutra's got
no.
damage. Yeah, he's got damage on the front left and the front spoiler. It's certainly going to be costly for him.
Yeah, I think that's his chances gone there. It's gonna affect him for the second half of the lap, so it's not good for him at all. I think that's the second time he's gonna be missing out on pole position. Assuming if Toasty keeps it together. It's unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, the other guys are, everybody else in the LMH cars have almost no damage. So I think they're running quite well together.
Yeah, so Stoll's in the other entirely black car. They look like they're almost on the same team, him and Dutra.
Yeah.
He's also got a pretty... Yeah, his tires are going away pretty quickly, but it looks like, there's no damage on the car. Fuel about halfway, so nothing particularly out of place for him. His outlap was a 7-minute 56. I don't know that it really tells us much, but and Willie goes off just ahead of Stolz there and hits the wall. I don't know if he picked up any damage. Yeah, he did pick up damage, and he's got a lot of damage on his car. Oh my god. Yeah, he might as well just retire the car. Look at that. He's got damage on the front right, front left, the front spoiler, the rear, and the rear right.
Yeah, I think it's best to just park it up. But obviously we need to compare it to the other guys to see how bad it really is, because that doesn't look appetizing, does it? As he's on the steering everywhere, look at that.
Yeah. It's kind of like a negative feedback loop, once you get a little bit of damage, and then it makes the car turning just that much harder. And then, when you're used to taking the corners at a certain level with damage, it becomes just enough to make you understeer off the track and then hit the barriers again and pick up even more damage. And then you kind of get into this headspace where you got to make up more time and push the car more, but then you become more susceptible to mistakes. It's a tough mental, feedback loop that you got to break.
Yeah, it's quite complicated. I think Willie is just trying to keep it on track, trying to see what he can salvage. As Toasty has just set the fastest lap, 7:08. That's quicker than what he did in Q1. As here comes Anthony Colalia. No what? He sets a 7:24. Willie is gonna come across, and he's just manages to get it under the 7-minute 50 mark. Yeah. 7:47.4. Yeah, it was on the medium, surprisingly, so that's interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. Yeah, to go on the mediums for qualifying. Dutra jumps into second, and we missed it earlier. Stolz actually jumped into, I think it was third place, but it looks like Ace has third place now.
Oof, Motsky also has damage, so I think that's his lap ruined. He's gonna be starting, well, obviously needs to try beat Willie or Anthony to see where he can finish. I think he is going to definitely maybe out-qualify Willie as...
Oh my God.
Last.
700ths of a second. Oh my God,
Ay, ay,
difference.
ay.
That's crazy for a whole lap of the
Almost speed.
Nürburgring. Wow.
Yeah. There he goes in 7th. Where the hell are the Gia Supras? Yeah. Oh,
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 wow.
look at that.
Thunder
Thunder Moose
Mouse
has no
is
tires.
literally,
Oh, he's gone
he's
off.
got no tires.
Oh my god.
There are no tires on
Oh,
his
what has
car.
happened? These guys have no grip.
I,
Like they're
I
on
don't
wet
think I've
tires.
ever seen all red on all 4 tires before.
Oh my god.
Oh my
For him
goodness.
right now, yeah. Um,
So
yeah,
Thunder Mouse
he's,
struggling to get this car finished
ay,
on
ay,
his
ay.
qualifying lap.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to bring it home now. Ads on his way to finish the lap. I think he will be the first GR Supra to finish his lap. So let's see how he does. The benchmark is definitely a seat here. As it comes across the line. Where does he finish? It's a 839. 839.0, sorry.
Yeah, and see, looking at
But
the damage on his car, it looks like there's he looks sorry, the lack of damage of his car. So very clean lap by Ads. So I think he might be the favorite
yeah,
going into the race here for the GR3 class. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
no, it's okay. Flying is coming across his lap as well. Is going to finish it. Yeah, he's also. So many of these GR Supra guys have just absolutely shredded their tires, which is the most surprising thing. His lap time. God damn it, I forgot to put it. But we can see Dinosaur coming across the line. Oh
Oh
my god!
no! Yeah, he
Yay! That's
loses the
not the
rear
best.
end there. Yeah, that's Honrein.
Come on, Dino, just try to finish the lap. You might be ahead of Thunder Moose here. Come on. Where does he come? Across the line, 8:58. Um, that that is quicker than Thunder Moose, so that's pretty good. Lamb King on his lap as well. He has damage on both front and rear. His tires are not too shredded like the other guys, but it might be a little too late. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that good. Needs to try to beat Dino here for 10th in overall standings. Lamb King, there is the 6th gear.
I hope
Yeah,
he's listening into the
hopefully
stream
break that.
because someone needs to tell him that there's a 6th gear.
Yeah. Maybe we should tell him, maybe the engineers
Yeah.
tell him over the radio, yeah. As he comes across the line.
Oh god.
Still faster than Thunder Moose, so there he goes. Across the line. Ollie Bolly again! Just like
Yeah.
Thunder Moose. Yeah. Tires dead. It's a running joke because he didn't know the Hurricane had 7 gears. Yeah. I remember that in I think the GT4 race. Somebody was like, "This thing has 7 gears."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ollie Bolly, he just needs to try to finish his lap. Come on, mate. Come on, mate. One more corner. Twitchy out of there. Can he beat Thunder Moose? Can he beat Lamb King? He beats Lamb King, I believe. Yes.
Yep.
He beats Lamb King. A bit behind Dino though.
Wow, so he
bit,
beats Lamb King's time by 0.6 of a second, which is
Not
virtually
bad.
nothing for the whole Nürburgring lap.
Can I
And
just
Nasty.
say that's impressive? Oh, here comes Nasty.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So that was Nasty's out lap.
That was Nasty's out lap. Oh my god.
Well,
Yeah,
I think.
he stopped last.
Yeah, I think him joining in late. I think he probably focused on getting a good practice lap in, since he's probably not well prepared at all. So, seeing that he took his out lap pretty comfortably and didn't get any damage, it looks pretty good for him. So, again, like this race is going to be all about keeping your car out of the barriers, keeping your car out of trouble. So Nasty, even though he didn't put in a qualifying time, I think he might be a contender for at least a podium here. We'll see.
I'd just like to say, Ollie, with having damage in every single part of his car, with dead tires, managed to outqualify Thunder Moose and Lamb King as well. Like, I think that deserves some praise, if it does, because that is definitely worth some praise. Having damage and you still outqualified him, and no tires and you still outqualified him as well. So gotta give credit to him. And only 16 seconds of dinosaur. So yeah, not bad, Ollie.
Yeah, there's going to be a natural variance that's going to be more spread out in qualifying because you could pick up damage towards the later half of the course, right? And then that won't affect you as much as if you pick up damage within the first couple of corners. So there's a lot of like almost, I don't know if luck is the right word, but there's a lot of different situations that can happen per driver and per car in qualifying, and I think that's where we'll see the difference in the race, where drivers who can string together consistent laps without damage are the ones that are going to be running in the podium positions.
Yep, you're right about that. Ollie just said in chat, tire wear happened, bro, and I found out I don't like this car. Well, I think that was just quite a common theme with the GR Supras there, where absolutely everybody's tires just absolutely collapsed. Um, you check the timing sheets, Ads out qualifies his second, the car behind him by, I think that's almost like, God no, that's almost what 10, 13 seconds or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. So GR Supra's not looking really good on tire wear. I think it's gonna be maybe a two stop for them in terms of, not a two stop. Sorry, what am I saying? It's probably gonna be hitting every 2 laps for them on the mediums, is what I'd say. Maybe 3 laps.
Yeah,
It's hard to say for sure. All depends on the
yeah,
driver. I
seeing
mean, there were some guys.
yeah, seeing as the tire degradation is pretty high, I would imagine a lot of drivers will opt for the hard tires and just run them as long as they can, considering that the weather is random, right? So if it starts raining at any point, switching over
Yeah,
to wet tires or intermediates or full on wets will be an advantage if you just only have to switch it out once from the hards. I think maybe that might be a key strategy to for a lot of these drivers is just simply to make the car last as long as possible on the track till maybe the weather changes.
yeah. I think tires are definitely not the tire to go. Um, as a driver myself, I don't really like the hard tire a lot. I try to my best in terms of every league race I am in to always avoid that tire, no matter the cost, because that tire is not good news. You're losing 3 seconds of lap time, all because you wanted to go like a few laps extra and make a less stop. Doesn't work if you're gonna go for maybe 1 lap extra anyway. So especially on the Nordschleife. So I'd recommend not to go on that. I think many people are definitely gonna go on the mediums though, maybe softs actually, because I definitely saw some guys going on the softs in qualifying now and doing 2 laps or so.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I know yeah,
Yeah, I
I
found
know
that
some.
I've found something pretty similar too with the hards. I tend to whenever I join in on endurance races, I typically will try to just use the mediums and just conserve the mediums as much as possible because that's just faster than pushing the hards.
Yeah, I know some drivers here are really really good on their tire wear, like Dino, as everybody's getting ready in the chat. R R R R R R R. um, Dino himself, I know him very well. He is really good on tire wear. So I expect him in terms of the race strategy, if he can keep it consistent, that is, to be absolutely flying. And I think he can take the win on the GR class probably. Don't underestimate Ollie because his lap was pretty good, even when he had like the worst car, like he had a GR4 Supra in terms of handling or whatever with his car there. And Ads himself is really quick. I mean, overall pace, maybe I think Ads might just easily gap the field. So it could be anybody's game. Flying Disc also really looking good in qualifying. So yeah, I mean, it's an all game for the GR Supra class, as Tosi is gonna look out for Dutra and on his rear. So we know Dutra had damage on that lap, but still managed to get a 6:14. Ace managed to put up some clean lap as well. Managed to fight Dutra in a bit. I think he's definitely going to be fighting for the podium alongside Stools and Anthony. And I think something to be taken is that Willy and Motsky, they are definitely the drivers to also watch. Starting from last on the grid, they have nothing to lose in that class. And I think Motsky, especially starting from last, is going to do some wonders today on the grid, as I hope he can take it consistent. And same thing goes with Willy. I think both of those drivers can definitely do some wonders from last on the grid. So this is going to be a really exciting 13 laps of race, 13 laps of Nürburgring. So I recommend you guys to stay tuned, as we are going to be starting the race anytime soon.
Yep, and it's certainly going to be pretty interesting seeing the potential mixed strategies on track. Like if Toasty, for example, goes for a stint, he's going to be his race pace is going to be just naturally slower than if someone were to do like a multi-stop that's going to be more aggressive on the race pace. I think Dutra might actually do something like that. He tends to do more push laps and then more pit stops. So it'd be interesting to see if maybe Dutra and Toasty actually get into quite a bit of a battle in the opening lap, and if that affects Toasty's race in the long run, and it would allow someone like Ace or Stoles to potentially gain position or gain time on the overall strategy. So it's going to be a lot to look out for in terms of people's strategies, their race pace, how they manage their tires, how they manage fuel consumption, both in the GR1 and the GR3 class. Right now, Ads definitely looking like the favorite for the GR3 class, crossing the line with almost 14 seconds ahead of Flying Disc. And on top of that, Ads also had some pretty good tire wear left on his, or sorry, tire wear left on his car, and no damage as well. And Flying Disc ended up crossing. I think the majority of the rest of the field had damage as well. So we'll get into the race just a bit. We're waiting for the countdown to begin.
Yeah. Road says I can see Toasty fighting Dutra quite a bit, but I think Toasty will be out there for quite a long time as the race starts. Let's answer that really quickly. I think, yeah, this is definitely gonna be, in terms of overall pace, I think Dutra and Toasty will be definitely neck and neck territory. In terms of the strategy, it could go anybody's ways. As here we go.
All right, so the lights are up, and we're go. So Toasty, Dutra, and Ace all everyone gets a really clean start actually, because it's a rolling start. But the drivers come into turn one. Sorry, I'm still updating the labels here. So Toasty gets a clean start, Dutra, followed by Ace. No issues into turn one. Stoll is there with Anthony Colazzo on his rear, not too far away. And just past, it looked like Willie and Motsky going side by side through the Ford curves. Willie having to defend against Motsky. And then Ads maintains his position in first place, Flying Disc in second, and Ollie Bali in third for the GR3 class. So fairly clean start from everyone. No major issues, no incidents. That's good to see. At least nothing that we saw from our spectator view. Look at that Dutra just pushing the car out of the RTL into the Advent back straight. The race hasn't even like really gotten underway, and it's already.
Look at that, just up his rear. Yeah, they're coming side by side. Oh my God, they're pushing
There's
each
contact.
other.
Yeah.
The guys are making contact. I'm really scared of what's gonna happen to the both of them when they come to the Marshall Island. They both maybe might possibly go side by side. Dutra is absolutely pushing it. Look at that, he's taking the grass on the exit, getting the grass on the entry. This guy's out there to absolutely catch and overtake Toasty as soon as he can. It's quite incredible how aggressive he's going right now.
Yeah, Dutra is certainly putting on the pressure on Toasty at the moment. Hoping that Toasty will make a mistake. Takes a quick peek on the outside there of Flukplatz.
Oh, as you don't see. Oh, you almost made a race-ending mistake there. Oh, that's super tight. These guys are giving us such a great battle. Oh, so early on in the race. It's incredible for the lead of the race. Yeah, I mean,
Toasty makes a rare mistake.
Toasty has gone wide. Dutra is in the lead of the race. Dutra leads by Toasty by 2.9 seconds now, and it's incredible. One mistake it took from Toasty, from the pressure behind Dutra, and he's already right behind. This is gonna be a special few laps in the race. With Toasty and Dutra, I think it's gonna be quite neck and neck between both of them. Stones and Ace is pulling away from Stones right now. Gap 1.4 to from Stones to Ace, so I think, and they're still keeping it close together. I don't know where Motsky went. I thought he was battling with Billy for a second, but I have no idea where he went.
It looks like Motsky potentially went off and damaged his front left wheel. So he's further behind. He's about 16 seconds already behind Willie. But the GR1 class is still pretty tightly packed. As you can see, Ace here coming through, I think it's Exmula, with Stoles and Anthony Colazzo and Willie not too far behind. Toasty increasing the gap ahead a little bit after his mistake by almost 3 seconds. As we take a look down now further down in the GR3 class, Ads has a comfortable lead right now as he gets through Versiphon. Flying Disc not too far behind, and it looks like the pack is all still pretty tight in the GR3 class as well. Looks like B-Ship.
Oh,
sorry, what was that?
I think there was a battle going on with Billy in the GR1 class. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. It's Anthony and Billy going against each other. Billy is getting the slipstream of Anthony in these final few corners. Billy takes a wider line against Anthony, getting more of a better exit. Sorry to interrupt you. You can go back to the class.
Yeah, no worries. So Dinosaur just behind Ollie Bali and 32 Nasty PSVR. So Dinosaur looking to potentially get alongside here. I think it was Dinosaur taking a peek at Mut Curve and decided to back out. which I think was a wise decision. 32 Nasty PSVR about 3 seconds ahead, and Lamb King actually in 3rd place right now in the GR3 class, starting way lower. I think he started in like what, 6th in the GR3 class or 5th. So he made quite a few places up and is having a great run so far. I think earlier we saw Bishop further. Sorry about that. We saw Bishop earlier down, further down the grid, damage. So I think Bishop also went off and picked up damage somewhere. Same with Thundermouse too. So Thundermouse has picked up damage on the front left and the front right tires, and we can see struggling to keep it on track.
Yeah, it's not the best race going on for Thundermouse. From qualifying to race now, it's just been terrible for him. He's just crashed out again. Stoles, Anthony, and Philly still hammering him down. Stoles, Anthony's now going to get the slipstream of Stoles as we can see on board so you're going to see the cockpit camera of the car here. Slowly following behind. That car is not getting close, but we also 180. That in 6th gear, but nope. It's just quite limited. No battery. But Stoles is still hanging on even with the pressure behind. He's quite relaxed actually, it looks like. I don't know how that's possible. Maybe he's just special in that way there. Just be relaxed in that type of situation. So yeah, I see how it goes. Stoles then. It's consistency for now.
Oh, Anthony Colazzo gets really squirrely on the exit of the Yokohama S and allows Willie to pick up half a second as they both make their way through the board curves. Further back in our GR3 class, 32 Nasty has caught up to Ads and is now drafting down the Dardinger Straight.
As you can see, I think Nasty has just made her fight back. It's incredible how much pace he has. But the other guys, he's fighting from the last to the bit. He's already caught up to Ads by the first lap. I think he's on the mediums as well. No idea what tire Ads is on. It's impossible to see that. I think Ads is also on the mediums, so Ads has better tire.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be interesting. Ads just gets a very, very bad of turn 1. Nasty overtakes. Nasty is now the leader of the Group 3 class. Incredible fight back for him, and I think that has to be one of the best fight backs we've seen so far this race. Very impressive.
Oh no, to say that.
My God.
Nasty, oh no. He spins out and is turned around.
Has affected Nasty. Oh, please just get a safe rejoin, Nasty. Come on.
So Dinosaur takes a quick peek in the inside.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Ollie Bolly
goes wide and off the track and makes it easy for Dinosaur to pick up that position out into the Schumacher S. But he's got Flying Disc behind them, and both of them still don't have damage. Flying Disc taking the outside, looking to potentially make the inside. No, backs out, and Dinosaur defends, though. He takes the inside. Oh, Flying Disc takes the outside of the exit. Oh my goodness. You could see the back end of his car there, almost losing it as he was trying to stay side by side with Dinosaur into the Advent. straight. Oh, but he
My
does it again into the
God.
chicane and loses about 2 seconds. So
Yeah,
unfortunate
great
mistake by there,
defending.
but there's plenty of time for him to make that up through the rest of the lap. Sorry, sorry, Luigi. Go ahead.
It's okay, it's okay. Great defending by Dinosaur there through the GP part of the track. Flying to catch to Dinosaur and flying to pass him. Flying Disc definitely has the pace compared to the others. Dinosaur might be looking to be very, very consistent actually, as these three cars are fighting for tag. Oh, almost Flying Disc almost flies off the track. No pun intended, but this is really looking like a very entertaining battle. Like super classy here. Um, Ollie manages to stay ahead for now. Nobody having any crazy antics into that corner, thankfully. Yeah, I think it's just amazing what these drivers are doing right now. And this is just the super class, by the way, with the insanely close and amazing drive. Nasty is going up the inside, not in that corner. Come on, Nasty. No, will he try the inside?
Uh,
Yeah, he's gonna get the dive bomb. Oh my God, that is that is an amazing move by Nasty there. Great move by him, and I think he has definitely made a great overtake, and I think he's gonna go for the flying discs next. Flying disc not looking confident from the last few corners here, and with the pressure from Nasty behind, I don't know if he's gonna be enough confident to uh, fend off from Nasty, but we should see. Come the next few corners, the battle is still ongoing. Nasty having more pace than Flying Disc right now. He backs off into that corner, not willing to take the risk. Again, he's just backing off a lot. He knows he cannot attack in these sectors of the corners, as he just does not have the time as much as he wants to. He cannot attack. It's impossible in the sector.
yep.
Flying Disc is more focused on catching Dinosaur, but just yeah,
And you can see
only
both of
can't.
them catching up to Dinosaur pretty quickly. I don't know if Dinosaur maybe picked up damage or something, but Dinosaur is certainly off the pace. But as you said, this section of the track is certainly very difficult to pass. But you know, if there's a huge race pace difference, someone's got to make a move. Like Dinosaur right there, holding up Flying Disc, coming out of Exmola.
And I think that might give Nasty enough of a run going into this corner. And no, I think they both made a bit of a contact there. Oh my God, Flying Disc has again been looking very shaky to that car. Nasty makes that move very easily, passes Flying Disc, and he's gonna chase after Dinosaur now. Dinosaur trying to manage his own, and nope. It's quite incredible. Dinosaur has no pace against these guys right now. Maybe he has damage, but looks like all of his pace has just been evaporated. He's been pushed. Oh no pace from the straight from him.
Oh, and it allows Dinosaur.
And
Oh, and the
that
collide.
journey.
Oh no, that's definitely an
Oh,
incident. Oh, it's unfortunate. So it looks like Flying Disc ended up steering into Dinosaur and colliding with him. And that allows Nasty to overtake both cars
but
going
Nasty
forward.
has damage. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, Nasty has damage on the front bumper. But that's good news for Ollie Bali at the moment, who has no damage and is now at the rear of Nasty. But good for Flying Disc on waiting for Dinosaur after that incident. I think maybe Flying Disc had gotten a little bit too eager, or he broke a little bit late going into the Klossertal section of the track.
Yeah, I think Ollie's gone very aggressive with the setup there. He's losing a lot of tire wear. Um, no mistake by I think flying disc. I think that should definitely be a racing incident. It's just not a place where you should make an overtake there. So poor driving for both of them.
Yeah, it's a tough
But
situation, especially
yeah,
because if you have Dinosaur, who was a little bit off the pace ahead of them, they both ended up getting backed up, and then, you know, you're in a situation where you want to make an overtake, but when you're stuck in that position where there's two cars ahead of you, it's very risky to try to pass both of them at the same time.
it looked like Dinosaur lacked 30 more horsepower than the other cars because he was just in a not in a way that not in a way of pace that we'd expect him to be on a straight line compared to these other cars. He looked like he was going 10, maybe 20 miles per hour slow, which was crazy. I just all the bumping that was going on at the straight as well. Don't know if the
Yeah.
slipstream was that strong, but yeah.
Yeah, it was possible maybe that Dinosaur had picked up damage that we missed while we were looking at Flying Disc Battle with 32 Nasty. So
Oh, hang
Toasty
on.
gets alongside of Dutra going into
Not in that corner.
just makes the pass right into Arenberg and takes back the position 2 laps after he made the mistake that allowed Dutra to overtake him in the first place. So Toasty takes back the lead and shows everyone who's boss at FTGP 9. Oh, but he makes another mistake and he crashes the car. Oh my goodness. As soon as I said that, I gave him the commentator's curse. Oh my goodness.
I like both commentators give both the leaders a curse. That's
Oh my
insane.
goodness. But Dutra also has damage on his front right.
That would
Oh
explain
my
his
goodness.
pace, but there goes Toasty.
I can't believe it.
Ay. Yeah, if I was neutral, Toasty right now went hit for damage.
Let's see if I can take a quick look at the replay here. No, I missed the replay. I was hoping I could get a replay of Toasty losing it. So pretty rare mistakes here by Toasty at FTGP. Usually he's on the ball, but 2 rare mistakes there in the Arenberg and the Foxhole section of the track on our forest. So
yeah,
pretty tough race for Toasty so far. Stoles is catching up and does not have damage, so this might be an opportunity for Stoles to potentially overtake Toasty, but I don't know if Toasty will allow that to happen easily.
it might look like Stones might be a potential surprise. What do you call it? Driver that might enter into the fight for the first and 2 positions for first and second. He's quicker than Toasty right now, and he's on match pace with Dutra. And obviously Dutra has damage, so does Toasty. But he doesn't. That's the point. And I think right now with his current pace being quicker than Billy, he might pull something off here. Coming in maybe a lap later. And we know these guys probably are going to have to hit this lap or the lap later. So let's see the pace and let's see what he can convert, Stoles can convert as he's catching up to Toasty really quickly. I think don't run into Toasty's head.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, as soon as Rogue had mentioned that in chat. It's pretty rare though that Toasty lets the pressure get to his head. So back down into the GR3 class. Maybe Ads had a certain issue or something, but is now sitting in 3rd place. Oh, so Ads elected to take a pit stop. So he's on fresh mediums and then full tank of gas. So he is
Which means
potentially still in the net lead. Ollie Bali right now. He was okay. So Ollie Bali was on hard tires, and he has about a quarter tank left. Looking pretty good though. He's got no damage. He's keeping his car out of any sort of issue, out of trouble. And then PSVR, 32 Nasty PSVR also with fresh medium tires, it looks like, and half a tank of gas. So interesting choice by him in terms of strategy.
yeah, I think things are starting to heat up now. Nasty, Ollie, and maybe ads. If the ads make a potential mistake going into the future part of the race, maybe Nasty can hold him up and possibly we should see a fight between all these three guys. Nasty will definitely try to make a comeback from spinning from first, from starting from last to getting to first, then spinning to last, and now he's gonna try to get first again. And we can see maybe he can do it. He's still on par with as here, as I think that's Dutra making a pit stop now.
Yeah, so Dutra jumps into the pits, and Toasty does as well, and Stoles. So it looks like our top three. Looks like everyone will probably be joining. Willie elects to not pit this lap and potentially go another round,
Do you think
as
Willie's going
does
for the
Anthony
four stop?
Colazzo.
Yeah, Willie might be going for the four stop here. It's a bit of a surprising one. This means he's probably going to do a stop less than the guys. Sorry, not even a full stop. What am I saying? Willie might potentially be trying to do a three stop in this race, which is a stop less than Dutra, Toasty, and Stoles right now. Same with Ace and same with Anthony Galau. Anthony. So I think these three guys that have gonna try to go for the three stop here definitely have betted. Actually, I think Ace just pitted. I'm not sure, but yeah,
Yeah,
definitely looks
Ace
kind of
has some
interesting.
suspiciously like not worn tires for 3 laps of the Nürburgring. So I think maybe he had pitted and just switched tires at some point.
Yeah, but I don't. Those lap times doesn't look like he did anytime soon. So I'm
Yeah,
just
that's right. So maybe
confused.
he's been nursing his tires this entire time.
If that's true, then those tires should probably last to lap 6 with its current state. But yeah, it just looks weird on Ace's condition. Maybe GT7 just lags a bit, but it is what it is. Let's see what Ace might pull off here.
Yeah, I
Might
mean
be doing
he
something surprising.
yeah, it looks like he only has enough fuel for one more lap. So maybe he's going to not switch his tires and save about 5-6 seconds in his pit stop. But I don't see why you would do that in anyway. Feel like if you're in the pit stop, you might as well just switch your tires anyway. You save quite a bit of time on the track. 5 seconds in the pit stop is really not much.
I'd have to agree with that, especially with the nose laps being a long circuit. We're gonna switch our camera to Stoles, who was fighting for the lead with Dutra for a second. I think Toasty is behind Stoles now, so I think we saw a overtake happen
So I think
a bit
Stoles came
earlier on the
out.
circuits.
I think Stoles came out ahead of Toasty in the pits. It looks like Stoles took a little bit less fuel.
Yeah, that would explain it. So
Oh,
right
Toasty,
now,
Toasty just flies by Stoles there through the
right
Kittelbacher
work.
and just completely makes quick work of Stoles there.
I see. Yeah, smart strategy by Toasty, saving the battery so he can fly by on the straight. Great work by him, honestly. But he's gonna get the slipstream now. Um, stalls, so he's gonna have to try to stay ahead of stalls as much as possible. And right now, what Toasty needs to do to get back into first place is to just chop the gap down from Dutra and hope that Dutra makes a mistake now. So yeah, let's see what he can do, like he did in lap 2. So yeah, let's see. The commentators just died.
So Ollie Bolly currently in first place for the GR3 class, coming up through the, what is that? Okay, so he's coming through the Tier Garden compression into Honrine, finishing his third lap, and will hopefully pit. Hope he doesn't miss the pit lane entrance. There you go. So he dives into the pits. So this time around, it looks like almost all the GR3 class will be pitting. 32 Nasty PSVR and Ads currently in a battle for the net lead at the moment because both have made their pit stop, I think. Or no. Oh no. So 32 loses control of the car and hits the barrier on the left and dives into the pits just to get that fixed.
Come on, Nasty. Second time already. Third time already, man.
Yeah, that's a rough one. So Lamb King now takes net second place and is consistently clean through his 3 laps of the Nürburgring. No damage, 1 clean pit stop. So he's been doing pretty well. I think he did pick up actually a damage in his first stint, but this is a solid run by Lamb King in second place.
Yeah, I think this guy Lamb King has just been keeping it consistent, you know, where Ollie and the other I think Ollie and Nasty have been making a lot of mistakes, same with Ads. He's just been keeping it consistent as possible, so he could just take advantage of the other guy's mistake, even if he is 2-3 seconds slower. That's one of the good things about his pace and his consistency. As Ollie just goes a bit wide through there. Bishop's on the attack on Ollie.
So Ollie was actually able to overtake Bishop going into the Dunlop curve, and I think Bishop right now is currently, I think they're currently on different strategies. So Bishop is taking a slower, more fuel conserving pace, and Ali Bali is going to be pitting probably one more time than Bishop in the overall race. So despite their battle right now, I think they're currently on different strategies. Yeah, Bishop is certainly conserving hard.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense with his pace now. I think Bishop is planning on going longer in the elevator stops. I believe the launch time a pit stop should probably take around 30-40 seconds, if I'm not correct. But and I think he's trying to play in the small position where, yeah, but I mean the gap. Looking at it, the gap might not be that bad. I don't know what he thinks it's the first strategy or not, but let's see, honestly, because this is looking really promising as Dutra is coming through these guys who are doing a 3-stop, Dutra on a 4-stop, as the gap is also reduced from Toasty and Dutra. This is something interesting. Dutra has rear damage, if you didn't see that, actually.
Yeah, I think we missed where he picked it up, but currently Willie, Anthony Colazzo, and Ace all in the pits right now. Toasty and Stoles make their way by to regain the top 3 positions. So Ace comes out
So
in 4th place ahead of Willie and Anthony Colazo. He elects to take less fuel and spend less time in the pit. And then Willie and Anthony Colazo exit the pit lane, one right after the other, with a full tank of gas and fresh medium tires for both of them. So it looks like they're on the same strategy.
question for both of you by Rogue. Question for both of you drivers. The corner coming into the node, there is a bump there. Have either of you smacked your hands because the wheel jerked off your hand when hitting that corner? Well, from my experience, the bump is actually kind of irritating because when you're trying to get the traction down, you feel like you can properly get the traction down, and you feel like the force feedback is gonna give you enough. Like it's telling you, yeah, okay, push me. And then as soon as you hit that bump, boom, like you just it just snaps. So yeah, that's something that happens to me.
Yeah, the crest there gives you a lot less mechanical grip when you go over it into the Sabine Schmitz corner. This one right here you're talking about, right? Right, Rogue?
Yep.
It's not necessarily the bump, right? Is it the overcrest going into the turn is what you're referring to, or is there like a specific bump that actually jerks your wheel that you're referring to? Okay. Yeah, I haven't had any issues with the wheel kind of jerking at all, but you definitely lose a lot of mechanical grip going into that turn because of the overcrest ahead of the Sabine. Oh, a physical bump just at the crest of the corner.
Physical.
I'll have to like look closer into the corner. I haven't experienced that, but you know, maybe others have.
Wheel jerked hard for me yesterday during King of Learning.
Is it possible you hit the sausage? Is it possible you hit the curb on the inside? The curbs on the inside of the Sabine corner is like really aggressive. So if you get your left wheel onto that curb, it can certainly jerk your wheel pretty hard.
Nope, I was on center of the track.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep taking the center of the track, that corner as well, and I get the same thing. But what wheel are you on, Rogue? If you can see the gap between Toasty and Dutra, it's closing and closing ever so slightly. I will take a picture of it later tonight and post it into Discord. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good, Rogue. So Dutra has picked up even more damage. He now has damage on the front of his car and the front right wheel. And as you can see in the background there, Toasty is catching up. He's only 3 seconds behind Dutra at the moment.
So I think this has definitely been a total game changer for Toasty, as he's picked up a lot of steam. And I think in a few corners or so, Toasty will be on Dutra's tail, coming into some and few corners. And the gap is almost a second now, flat out. Yeah, fastest sectors as well. Yeah, Toasty is like a man possessed right now, and Dutra is just trying his best to stay on track. The damage he has gotten So it's gonna be interesting to see Toasty taking the high line, then going to the low line. Okay, that's quite an interesting take on the circuit there, but manages to play in his benefit into this fast sections. This is, I think, where they should intersect each other. Like good spot for them to overtake each other, but let's see what happens, as Dutra could really make a mistake.
Oh
I
no,
mean, as he does.
Dutra, as soon as you said that, Dutra makes a mistake and goes off the track.
Uh,
And Toasty regains the position at Brunshen, aka the YouTube corner. So hopefully I don't give Toasty another commentator's curse situation as he retakes the lead
yeah.
of the race. As you
I
can
think I'll be
see,
quiet for now, yeah.
yeah. As you can see, the sun is starting to get quite low on the track, and it's certainly starting to get darker. The track temperature will be plummeting, and the grip levels will be changing significantly as the day gets colder. So hopefully the drivers will be able to adjust to those temperatures accordingly, and we'll continue to see more drivers, continue to get more damage and whatnot. Hopefully everyone will be a little bit more conservative, but Toasty here coming up on traffic, the GR3 class for the first time, so currently making his way around, I believe that is Flying Disc. Yep.
Yeah. First GR3 first GR3 cars that are coming into the way for the LMP1 class. B-Ship and Lamp King are in the pits right now, so it's very likely Toasty might be meeting them in the GP circuit of the layout. Actually, it might be pretty likely that Toasty meets B-Ship on the exit, as here we go. 6 seconds is now the gap between Toasty and Dutra. It's a complete change.
Yeah, Dutra has way too much damage to stay competitive at this point. It's unfortunate because Dutra was doing such a good job, but here's where things get interesting. So we're almost just about halfway through the race, and now the GR1 cars are going to be getting traffic. So this is going to mix things up a little bit, where the class 1 cars are going to have to make their way past the GR3 cars in the difficult passing sections of the track. So this might actually mix it up quite a bit. In some situations, like Toasty was able to pass Flying Disc, for example, in the Dittinger Straight, and that makes it easy, gives him plenty of time to pass. But then, if he gets behind someone in a very complex section of the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, he might lose out, up to 5 to 6 seconds. So things can get shuffled quite a bit when these cars are making their way through traffic.
Yeah, I think with the damage Dutra has now, as Toasty is coming across some lap traffic. But Dutra, with the damage he is, I think he's gonna get feeded into the cars behind Ace, maybe keeping up with him. I don't understand why Toasty didn't. Not Toasty. I don't understand why Dutra didn't pit. Oh, that got a bit too close. But I don't understand why Dutra did not consider getting this lap. There was definitely an alternative strategy that could be up for grabs, but maybe he's going an extra lap just so he can fix the damage, because maybe he knows he can get that gap back down. But I guess that's just something Dutra knows to herself and not us. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be very, very hard, as again Dutra's just a bit hasty with the traffic with the GR3s. I think it's definitely gonna be pretty hasty with the traffic.
Yeah, no fear there by Dutra at all. Going past, I believe it was Lamb King. So further down the grid, we have Ace currently sitting in 3rd place, only 11 seconds behind Dutra. And Stoll's sitting at about 7 seconds behind Ace. And then we have Anthony Collazo in 5th place, with Willie right behind. Actually, these two are still at it, neck and neck. They left the pits on the 4th lap, about within a second of each other, and they are still within a second of each other on lap 6.
It's getting really dark. Willie and Anthony. If Willie wants to make a move around Anthony, Willie really, I think he needs to. Needs to release on this track right now. My guess would be not now, but a bit later, 3 seconds maybe later, because now is not a great time. He has to with the traffic coming and track getting darker. Maybe he needs to make the overtake in just 2 sectors or so. That obviously needs to get a bit closer. It's very tricky conditions, and it's really hard to get it correct in Norse life in these conditions. So let's see what Willie can produce. Let's see what the drivers can produce really in conditions like these. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Rugg kind of hit the nail on the head. I think maybe Dutra thinks that he is going to end up picking up more damage anyway, so he might as well just stick to his strategy.
Yeah, I think that is a good statement, but I think Dutra getting damage in these past laps, it's not been anything related
Oh
to
no!
Zebra.
Anthony Collazo runs off the track and takes Willie with him. So Willie fixated on Anthony Collazo's car. They both hit the wall coming out of Bergwerk.
I believe they both have damage, right?
So Anthony Collazo has damage on his rear, but Willie actually comes out unscathed.
Oh, wow.
Luckily, and so they go side by side. Oh my god, so they're side by side through. Oh my god, and he through the mud curve. Willie takes.
There's no way. You cannot make an overtake on that corner. Willie.
Yeah, seeing as he had the extra top speed and not having damage in his rear, Willie certainly had not only the speed, but probably the extra downforce that Anthony Collazo didn't have. So great pass there by Willie.
To make the move around there, so very surprised with how he managed to make it stick. But yeah, great move by Willie that just by superb racing. 15 seconds to, I think that is as the GT car comes in. Lap, so there we go. Who is this ahead? I'm not sure. Another Supra. I believe Stoll's is 15 seconds to Willie now, 51 seconds to Toasty. Holding positions might be up for grabs, but Willie just needs to stay consistent with what he has right now. My mic has gone quiet. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, my bad.
So back up to the lead. Toasty had previously set the fastest lap with a 7:13 and is making his way down the Düdinger Straight and will likely make a pit stop once he gets back to the start-finish straight. So Dutra currently sitting 12 seconds behind Toasty at the moment and 9 seconds in front of Ace. And Ali Bali at the moment continues to lead the GR3 pack. Oh my goodness. He almost has an incident there coming out of Honrhein. Yeah. He like cut some grass there. Did the circuit a little bit of a favor.
Yeah, I think it's not best on his tires. Still was racing
hard.
No.
I'm surprised. Ads has run out of fuel and he's just crawling down at the Düdinger Straight.
Not ideal.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Not now. I mean, I could expect it at the end of the race, but now, he just, he just gotta crawl his way back to the pits. I think that's his race over. Nasty and Oli Wally have a very good chance to win the race now, with ads having that one incident. I'm sure he's swearing up a storm. Yeah. I think Dutra has pitted now for damage. Willie has not pitted because he's going on the alternative strategy. Toasty has pitted himself. Oh my god. Toasty has pitted himself
Yeah, so it looks
for
like
extra.
Toasty is only
Yeah.
3 seconds ahead of Willie. So it looks like despite their strategies being slightly different, they're still very, very close in overall pace.
He's surprised if Dutra didn't replace the damage. If you can see his POV now, Dutra looking.
Yeah, he's got his car
Yeah, fix
repaired.
the damage. He fixed the damage. New tires, more fuel. He's looking very fresh, and I think, yeah, he needs to start the comeback. Like he needs to lock in now for the last 6 laps of the race. And if Toasty could do it, if Nasty could do it, why can't he?
Yep.
Dinosaur comes out of the pits.
Yeah, so despite ads running out of fuel, he's still in 12th place and keeps his lead ahead of Dinosaur and Flying Disc. Willie and Anthony Colazzo are still very, very close together, despite Anthony having damage to his rear spoiler. But Willie there, you can see he's picked up a few seconds in the lead ahead of Anthony. And Stoles now currently sits in 6th place, but he just came out of the pits, it looks like, with 3/4 of a fuel tank and racing mediums.
Alright. I should be back. So see you guys.
All right, sounds good, Rogue. We'll see you later. All right, going to take a quick 5-minute commentator break, and we'll leave you here with the current pictures of Toasty leading the Nürburgring 24 hours of Nürburgring FTGP 9. Okay, we're back. Currently on lap 8 of the FTGP 9. And it looks like we lost Dutra. So a DNF, unfortunately, for Dutra due to connectivity issues. That's really unfortunate, Dutra. I'm sorry to hear that. You had a decent race. I think you're in contention for the podium positions. So currently, Toasty leads the Class 1 with a 20-second lead over Willie. He's opened the gap quite a bit. Willie is only 3 seconds ahead of Ace, who is about 6 seconds ahead of Anthony Colazzo. So a little group there, still pretty tight together. And then we got Stoles further back in 5th place, Motsky in 6th. So 32 Nasty PSVR leads the GR3 class at the moment. Ollie Bali had the lead originally, but looks like he went and took a pit stop, put on a fresh set of racing hard tires on and a full tank of gas. Ad's currently sitting in 3rd place. He had an issue of running out of gas on the Döttinger Straight. Looks like he is back into contention for the podium spots. Yeah, I think Dutra, you're kind of your disadvantage, or your sort of your weak spot was the damage that you're picking up in your laps. But yeah, man, that was close. You had a really good battle there in the opening laps as well. Bishop currently sitting in 4th place, I believe. Yeah, 4th place right now in the GR3 class. So consistent drive by Bishop. He's been not necessarily the fastest, but certainly very consistent and mistake free so far. I hope it don't cause him to make a mistake due to a commentator's curse. Currently on a new set of mediums and also a full tank of gas. Dinosaur in 5th in the GR3 class, and Lamb King shortly behind him, putting the pressure on. Dinosaur soaking in the pressure, going in through Flugplatz. Very fast double apex right-hander into the cotton board section of the track. Lamb King at a slight disadvantage up against Dinosaur due to having damage on his rear right tire and rear bumper. Oh, look at those sparks fly through as both of them make their way through Foxhole into Adenauer Forest. Lamb King caught up right up against Dinosaur's rear spoiler. Not able to take advantage of the opportunity. So Ace just got passed by Willie in the Döttinger Straight. Willie looking like he is conserving a little bit of gas to make it to the pit stop. He's running on fumes, essentially. Ace as well. So both of the cars make their way up Hanrein and into the front straight, and we'll dive into the pits. It looks like Toasty's strategy is playing out. He's ahead by 25 seconds and does not have to pit, and has at least another lap of fuel to go around. Anthony Colazzo, being on the same strategy as Willie and Ace, has run out of fuel, it looks like, just before the pit entry, and Stoles makes his way through to take what is going to be second place after passing Willie and Ace in the pit stop. Unfortunately, Stoles has damage on his front right tire and struggles to get the car rotated in the Yokohama S. After retaking the lead, Toasty has picked up the pace and has set the fastest lap of a 7:12.927 and has now opened the gap up to second place by nearly a minute. Toasty showing for the first time a few moments of weakness as he made a mistake early on at the Arenberg section of the track, allowing Dutra to initially take first place, and then later making a mistake in Adenauer. And it seems like now Toasty has gotten into the rhythm and back on pace, back with his consistency. As crossing the start-finish line, as you see the sun starting to peek out from the horizon. B-Ship dives into the pits along with Dinosaur. So currently, Nasty has 3/4 of a tank left in his car, potentially enough to go to the end. Comes out of the pits with a 3-second penalty due to crossing what I think is the pit exit line. He will have to serve that on the Döttinger Straight, which will be very costly. But 17 seconds might be enough ahead of Ali Bali that it won't make much of a difference. So Nasty currently sitting fairly comfortable in first place right now in the GR3 class. Ali Bali does look potentially like he might have to make another pit stop due to fuel. We'll see. And Ads right now will also have to make a pit stop and is currently sitting 46 seconds ahead of Bishop, who just pitted and added a whole full tank of gas to his car. So we'll see how Bishop comes out in relation to Ads when Ads comes around to pit in the next lap. Similarly, Toasty right now with a full minute now, opening the gap to 1 minute and 11 seconds, setting the fastest sector out of the gallows into the Döttinger Straight. I think he will come out well ahead. Well, I guess it depends on how much fuel he gets in his pit stop. But we will see where he ends up after his tires are changed and after his tank is replenished. In relation to Stolz, Ace, and Willie. So Stolz right now struggling a little bit with the front right of his car. Ace currently less than a second behind, looking for a potential overtake. So, oh no, Stolz makes a mistake at the Schwabenschwanz corner ahead of the mini carousel. Willie and Ace make their way by. So Toasty comes out of the pits with a net, looks like 20-second lead ahead of Ace. He's got now a full tank of gas and fresh mediums to last him the rest of the race. Ace will likely have to make another pit stop for more fuel, as will Willie. Stolz jumps into the pits, likely his last pit stop. So Collazo makes his way past Stolz as he crosses the start-finish line into the Yokohama S. Collazo looking like he might need another fuel stop as well, seeing as these cars last about 4 laps per fuel tank, it seems. Nasty opening up his gap Back to Ali Bali, another 3 seconds. As we enter the closing stages of the race, looks like Ads will have to make his final pit stop, and B-Ship will potentially come out ahead of Ads depending on how much fuel Ads takes. So I think it'll be a relatively close gap between the two. So Stoll's right now currently sitting in 5th place. Is looking pretty good at the moment. He's got a 25-second gap to Anthony Colazzo, but will no longer have to pit the rest of the race and will go to the end. So it's potentially a podium finish for Stolz, depending on the rest of the 3 laps here at the Nürburgring. As I say that, he goes off onto the grass. Every time I focus on Stolz, he makes a mistake, so maybe I should stop doing that for the rest of the broadcast so he has a solid race. So Ads jumps into the pits. B-Ship makes his way down the Düdinger Straight, and we'll see where he comes out in relation to Ads. This might be a close one. So B-Ship does make his way past Ads in the pits with almost 15 seconds to spare. Although Ads will have a full tank of gas to attack, while B-Ship will have to conserve its fuel in the closing laps. So I think Ads will have maybe 2 laps to close this 14-second window down and retake the final podium position. So Ace jumps into the pits. Wooly makes his way by. Oh my goodness. Stoles makes the same mistake a couple laps back before his last pit stop and picks up the same damage. But once again, focusing on Stoles has not been great for his race. Ace coming out of the pit stop, and Anthony Collazo not far behind. Although Anthony Collazo will have to make another pit stop, so even though it's 5 seconds, it's much more than that. So Nasty in a commanding lead right now in the GR3 class. He's got a 29 second lead ahead of Ollie Bolly. Both who look like they're on a similar strategy. Probably both will need to make a pit stop before the end of the race. Bishop is set to finish. So, although he is about 1 minute and 15 seconds behind Ollie Bolly, which is quite close actually to the net difference of a pit stop. But I don't know if he'll have enough. I don't think he'll have enough fuel to last the rest of the race. Ace currently sitting with a fresh set of hard tires. Interesting choice by him. You can see he's been losing a lot of time to Anthony Collazo through Luke Plots as they make their way down Cottonborn. Anthony Collazo nearly 2 seconds behind Ace at the moment. And you can see that time drop significantly around the corners. Anthony Collazo closes the gap as they make their way through Versiphon into the right-hander across the bridge up through X-Mula, the climbing right-hander and slightly off camera towards the exit. He will be looking to make a pass potentially through Kesselchen and through the mud curve. So Colosso losing some pace out against Ace, likely due to the need to conserve fuel. Otherwise, he will potentially run out of fuel before he gets to the pit entry. And speaking of pit entry, we have 32 Nasty PSVR entering the pits, along with Ollie Bolly. And I suspect Bishop will also enter the pits as well. So this could put Ads potentially in the net lead if he comes out ahead of the two, but it seems unlikely seeing as he is just entering the gallows. So Toasty starts the penultimate lap. Since Dutra dropped out of the race due to internet connectivity difficulties, Toasty has had a relatively smooth race. Once again showing why he is the reigning champion of FTGP. So Ace making his way by the front straight, and Willie just ahead from his pit exit. So both will be going to the end here within less than a second of each other, or less than 2 seconds of each other, after almost an hour and 20 minutes of racing. So Willie will be desperate to get those soft tires up to temperature. He will certainly have an advantage over Ace, who is currently on the hard tires. So I suspect Willie will be able to open the gap as the lap goes on. And Anthony Colazzo exits the pits as Stoles makes his way just past the Yokohama S, braking late there and making a mistake, going very deep into the first turn. I swear, every time I focus on Stoles, he like makes a mistake. I should seriously not give him any more screen time for the rest of the stream. So in the GR3 class, Nasty currently leads with a 27-second lead. Ali Bali in second, Ads in third, Bishop in fourth, Dinosaur fifth, Lamb King in sixth, and Flying Disc in seventh at the moment. All separated by approximately 30 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds. I don't think a position change is likely in the GR3 class for the rest of the race. And it looks like it'll be difficult for Stoles to catch Collazo with the racing mediums and damage on his front right tires as he struggles there to get the power down out of the Sabine Schmitz corner. Got the Motsky fan club in chat. Motsky struggling quite a bit in the GR1 class car. So Motsky dives into the pits, likely to get the damage repaired on his car and maybe potentially more fuel to the end. Toasty making his way past 32 Nasty PSVR. Down the Dudinger Straits, hitting what looks like to be almost 177 miles per hour. I saw a flash of 78 there. So Toasty crossing the start-finish line, starts his final lap of the race. Once again with a commanding lead of over a minute ahead of second place. Ahead of Willie, who is now currently only 3 seconds ahead of Ace. He lost quite a bit of time there, potentially due to traffic. And he continues to lose time. It's very likely he's very aware of Ace in his rearview mirrors. But once again, Willie has the racing soft tires on and will have an advantage around the corners here. But that does not mean he's prone to mistakes. So Willie will have to keep his cool for one more lap around the Nürburgring 24-hour track. Willie there pushing his car to the edge, kicking up a little bit of dirt out of Vorsteiner curve. Opening the gap to Ace as much as possible, sets the purple sector coming out of the Sabine Schmitz corner. Keeps it neat and tidy through the Hatzenbach section of the track. You'll notice he is not making much use of the curbs at all. Potentially his setup is not very curb compliant, and that's a strategy that he personally chose for the setup of his car. Toasty keeps it neat and tidy through Verseifen. And aside from the two mistakes that he made earlier in the race, Toasty once again is textbook consistent and is showing why he is the reigning FTGP champion for every single race of this year, except for one, which I'll always mention because I was the winner of that one. Toasty with the celebratory windshield wipers on. I don't believe there's any rain at the moment. I think he just has them on for funsies. And it was surprising we didn't see any rain today. You know, conveniently for the sake of the drivers. So going through the positions once more, Willie is currently sitting in second place. Ace, 8 seconds behind in third place. Anthony Colasso in fourth. Stolz in fifth place. Motzke in sixth. For the GR3 class, Nasty there getting his rear end a little bit twitchy through Mutt Curve. Currently leads the GR3 class in a comfortable 36 seconds. Ollie Bali currently sitting in second place. Adds in ninth. All these cars separated by about 30 seconds. Bishop in 4th, Dinosaur in 5th, Lamb King in 6th, and Flying Disc in 7th. Toasty coming through Schwalbenschwanz one last time through the mini carousel. You can hear the bass coming from the party that is near the gallows. And down into the Düdinger Strait for one last time. Looks like Toasty sets another purple sector on track for potentially, looks like beating his current fast lap into the Hohenrhein. And finally, this man, the reigning FTGP champion, winning every single race this year aside from one, finishes the 24 hours of Nürburgring and takes the checkered flag once again. Toasty McToasty dominating the Nürburgring race from not necessarily start to finish. Dutra had definitely gave him a run for his money in the opening laps, but Toasty coming out on top as usual. So Toasty continues his FTGP reign this year, winning, I believe, let's see, 4 in a row. I think this is his, let's see. I think this is, yeah, this is the 4th in a row that he's won. So Willie crosses the line, takes 2nd place, nearly a minute and 7 seconds behind Toasty. Epic drive by Willie and Ace in a close 3rd, only 9 seconds behind Willie. Very close race between the two. And Nasty comes across the finish line first in the GR3 class. I'll try to get all of these positions through as they come across in order. So Anthony Colazzo coming through, finishing in 4th place. So Ollie Bali with a solid run and able to take 2nd place. Let's talk about PS32 Nasty PSVR. Just hops in the last moment to join the race and comes out on top, beating everyone else in the GR3 class. Epic drive by 32 Nasty PSVR. Good job. Stoles comes through, had a tough race, and it once again hits the grass as I focus on his car. He's been a true victim of the commentator's curse today, by no fault of his own, and adds with fuel troubles earlier on in the race, is once again out of fuel, but is able to cross the line, hopefully ahead of Bishop to take that final podium position. Will he be able to do it? Will Bishop be able to come through? Oh, it looks like looks like he does take it, as the 3 minutes of extra time for the race to end closes. So let's go through and look at the final race results for one more time. So Toasty does take the fastest lap on that last lap with a 7:11.191. Willie takes second position. Ace in third place, rounding out the podium. Anthony Colazo finishes in fourth place. Stoles in fifth. And Motsky in sixth place. For the GR3 class, 32 Nasty PSVR takes the checkered flag with Ollie Bolly, I think it was around 40 seconds behind, and Ads running out of fuel and barely crossing the finish line takes the final podium position for the GR3 class. Bishop finishes in 10th, Dinosaur in 11th, Lamb King in 12th place, Flying Disc in 13th, that'd be 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th place for Lamb King, and Flying Disc in 7th. And unfortunately, Thundermouse and Dutra both DNF'd potentially. I don't know about Thundermouse, but Dutra definitely disconnected due to connectivity issues, so that was very unfortunate for him. But amazing race overall. And once again, it was predictable. Well, maybe to some extent that Toasty would take the title once again. Certainly not in the opening laps of the race. It was very exciting to see Dutra potentially win or, contend for the first place in the opening laps of the battle. But once again, Toasty comes out on top and wins the FTGP 9. So with that, we will leave you to the next few events. So Friday, we have round 3 of the Academy League, round 3 of 4. And that event is open to all drivers of all skill levels. Excuse me, only beginners and intermediates. So if you're interested in racing with LRC, definitely join LRC. Join our Discord. The invite is stickied on the Twitch chat. And joining me is Dinosaur. Dinosaur, how was your race?
It was good and bad. I crashed so hard I got engine damage twice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. On
That's
Nordschleife,
wild.
man, hey, you get feeling good. Like I went like 4 laps with no damage, and then all of a sudden I planted it in the wall at 140.
That's rough. It's right when you start getting comfortable and feeling comfortable in the car is when you make those mistakes.
Yes. When you think you know where you are.
Yeah. And with the time change at 16, like you feel like you get the feel of like the braking points and the grip around every corner, but because the time change is 16x, the track temperatures are constantly changing. So every time you come around the same corner, it's going to be different from the last time you were there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tire wear and the night was way different than the tire wear at the start of the race as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but we had a great stream. It looked like the race for the most part was a race of attrition. So like it was pretty much everyone who had the people who had the least amount of damage ended up doing the best.
I don't think anybody finished the race without getting damage once.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think everyone had gotten damage at some point. Ads had actually run out of fuel on the Dottinger Straight. And then he ran out of fuel again at the end of the race.
He did.
And I feel like if it was more than 3 minutes post race, I think Bishop might have gotten really close to taking the final podium position. It was close.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was unfortunate. Dutra, his internet gave out on him about halfway through.
Yeah, we saw.
He was in the running for a podium spot as well.
Yeah, and it was exciting because in the opening laps, he actually forced it. It looked like he forced Toasty in a couple of errors when they were racing against each other. So that was really, really interesting to see, especially because it was pretty uncharacteristic of Toasty to make a mistake like that. So it was really, really interesting.
Dutra was running out front for a while. I
Yeah.
kept looking up at the leaderboard like, oh, he's still there. This is
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be a good one.
Yeah, if you watch the replay, like he was behind Toasty and pressured Toasty into a mistake. It was pretty cool to see. All right. Well, with that, you have any closing remarks, Dinosaur? I know you just hopped in, but if there's anything else you want to mention, any shout outs or
Not too
plugs?
much. I'm looking for the board to the next FTGP. It'll be 4 days of Le Mans in mid-June. And then we're kicking off the league season 3, NASCARs.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's gonna be absolutely epic. I'm
Oh,
excited for the car. And have you come up with the tune for it yet and the parts?
yes, everything's
Okay.
ready to go. I'm gonna tell the Discord one Saturday. We're gonna drop the full season slate,
Nice.
the car, the tune, everything's gonna go out this weekend. We'll start signups in probably about 3 weeks.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Yep,
I was
and then,
I was actually just using the Camaro for like some of the weekly races today, and I just love that car if it's like tuned correctly. It's actually really fun to drive.
Yep. So the oval tune tops out at 182 at Daytona. So
Oh my goodness.
should be
That's
perfect, but it's not. It's we got a good amount of engine parts on it that we can fluctuate, and then add 200 horsepower when we take it on road courses.
Nice. That's perfect.
Yeah, and then last thing, I guess, just told a couple people last night, but the next FTGP after Le Mans Triple Crown wraps up, we're gonna do the Goodwood Festival of Speed.
Nice. So that would be
Lots
kind
of
of like
shenanigans.
will that be kind of like a time attack type of event?
So it was gonna be a bunch of random sprint races. It's gonna have a drift event. It's gonna have some like a 101 rallycross style tournament involved. It's gonna have a little bit of everything. And then we're gonna kick in it with the 60 minutes British battle race cars. But yeah, a little bit of everything. Maybe run some high medics, maybe some super formulas. Anything anybody wants at Goodwood Festival of Speed. We will see.
Yeah, that sounds great. It sounds like a proper Goodwood festival.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So with that, definitely subscribe to the channel, follow us, or join our Discord. The link is pinned in Twitch chat. And we have an event about just about every day of the week, so there's plenty of racing for you. And then most of our events are also geared towards learning and getting better in a very supportive environment. So definitely feel free to check us out. And with that, we will see you on Friday, so in 3 days. So take care.